Here comes the Nastygram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastygram RPG podcast. This is Empire's End.
Hi, this is Dean. I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Victor Argus, Operations Officer or Ops.
Hey, I'm John, and I play Lieutenant Commander Poro Randar, callsign Metalhead, Commander of the Air Group or CAG.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt. I play Gaius Loctus Vilfug, and I am the Medical and Personnel Officer, or MED.
Hey everyone, this is Dan. I play Lieutenant Junior Grade Nero Orn, Communications and Intelligence Officer, or COIN.
And I'm Josh, and I'll be your Game Master. This is episode 20, Dangerous Talk.
All these hungry and green miles forgiven.
Officer Log, Lieutenant Commander Randar, XO RACO Station. Nothing squelches the thrill of a hard-won victory quite like a diplomatic meeting with politicians. Worse yet, politicians we didn't even know existed. After arriving in New Calais, the NCC commander, Colonel Trevano, and Councilor Nell Ira met us to discuss the Free Calais Front situation. They explained the rugged, independent spirit that drove them to New Calais, leaving behind their old, dead world. So independent, in fact, that they asked for the Empire to step in and help. It appears Governor Redmere has made a mess of the diplomatic situation, so it's on us to make things right. While I have my reservations, especially since they have allowed the FCF to operate for this long unabated, Victor and the Doc seem to think it would be best to follow a more measured approach. I'll leave the politics to them. I'm more concerned with the discovery of the Calais power technology we saw on display during the engagement. The Doc seems to think they came here specifically because it was a good environment to grow these crystals. Whatever it is, we need to learn more about it, and fast. Thankfully, the warm greeting we got from the crew of RACO washed all that frustration away. It was good to swap stories with my pilots again. It feels like I've been stuffed in this office for months now.
Well, welcome back aboard RACO 72.
Finally, we're back.
So everybody take a shower, get some nice rack time.
I believe I'm in a drug-laced coma.
When we left off, I believe Nero was in a self-induced coma.
Yeah.
Yes, your little camping trip to the planet of VRX2 has been completed. You return to some revelry, reflection, and remorse? Alliteration. So we're gonna say about another day or so has gone by. You guys recovering, getting back acclimated, securing yourselves and the whole operation from the intensity of the search and rescue operations. Commander Argus has set a meeting time for a staff meeting at 1200 hours, say. And
Is that in the AM or the PM, sir?
and I did actually just very quickly. You guys got a. I was going to say I gave you like some benevolent.
Oh, thank you,
We
sir.
earned those,
You guys
right?
earned some character points. Just kind of going around quick. You guys got a bunch of character points. What did you guys up for skills?
I'll start.
Go for it.
My blaster went to a 5.
Wow.
Since I'm using it all the time and getting lots of good shots. My melee combat.
Did you really? Oh my God.
Just a pip, but it's now an even 4 dice for a little wet works operation. And then I actually upped my persuasion because I seem to be using it without rolling dice. So I just raised it a couple pips as well to 6. So I might actually start using it was a 5-1 or something.
Wow.
So I had 27 character points and I have 10.
Okay.
Cool.
John, how about Metalhead?
I upped my tactics a pip, just because of the combat, and because of the excursion, I upped my strength totally to 2 plus 2 pips.
Oh, the overall strength.
So yeah, 2d plus 2 now instead of plus 1.
All right. Daniel,
Yes.
Young.
Since I am perpetually running for my life, I did in fact up my running. I upped my sneak so I can hide for my life. And then my comms so I can call for help to save me. And lastly, my security so I can lock myself in somewhere.
Got a fucking trifecta.
Yeah.
The survival trifecta.
The survival suite.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys completed 3 out of 4 steps of SEER training: survival, escape, resistance, or survival, evasion, resistance, escape. Matthew, the good doctor.
The good doctor raised his strength by 1 pip. That was it. Figure all that running around in the jungle, carrying shit. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Throwing those Molotov cocktails.
Having to roll soak roll after soak roll and blow all your character points. The morning before your meeting as acting XO.
No, sorry. EXO.
Yep.
Randar, you are there's a knock maybe at your office. You get, kind of getting some reports and whatnot together.
Yep.
A knock on your office door.
Enter.
It opens.
Lieutenant
Thorne standing in front of you.
Oh, I barely look. I look and see who it is, and I look back down at my papers. Thorn.
He steps in. Commander, it is good, of course, to see you back at your station, looking healthy.
It's good to be seen, Thorn. What can I do for you?
Well, not to be too forward, but I received a communique, and I thought it might be appropriate to bring up with you before the meeting today at 1200, I believe.
Yes, that's what I'm getting ready for.
Well,
out with it.
He hands you a printout, and it says from CompForce Sector Command to RACO Station commanding and executive officers, effective immediately. Second Lieutenant Antor Thorne promoted to First Lieutenant. He says, I thought maybe it would be a wonderful way to start the meeting with a bit of good news.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I assume Commander August will probably want to bestow the honor.
Well, I'm sure he would be honored, Thorne. Anything else?
No, in here I've gone ahead and requisitioned some First Lieutenant bars. He passes them over to you.
This guy has to die.
Well, I'm not sure when we'll be able to get them for you there, Thorne, but they'll be on the docket. I put it literally covered in data pads and shit. I'm getting ready for the op meeting, and I kind of throw it to the corner.
Yes. Is this should it be in dress uniform or duty? I could see either being appropriate.
I think full dress is appropriate, Thorne.
Yes. All right. That was my preference. So thank you.
Yeah, you want to look as smart as possible for the commander.
Yes, and
in your moment of triumph.
Well, it's one step of many for myself, for all of us here.
Of course, yes.
Virax. Can this meeting be like casual Friday? So he comes in full dress.
You didn't get the memo? It's Hawaiian shirt, they asshole.
Well, sir, I will see you at 1200.
Of course, and again, congrats, Thorne.
Thank you, Commander. He smartly clicks his heels, about faces, and walks out.
The airlock.
Dan.
Yes.
Where is Lieutenant Warren?
Probably trying to kind of shake off the after effects of having been so comatose. So he's probably in his room, just preparing himself for the meeting, reading through the intelligence report that he got from Sector Command, and just going over those details and what they mean in terms of their implications for what's coming.
Okay. I did provide you guys, some of you guys, for peek behind the curtain with some information for each of you to present at the staff meeting. That gem is what you have to bring to the table.
Thanks. Really useful.
I prefer when you say everything we know and then we have to repeat it.
Really cool.
That would be
That's
better.
cool.
And one other thing that I will, I'll present openly to the players, but of course, only Orin will receive this message. As you're going through, suddenly you notice kind of in your, basically you could think of it as a email inbox, but your station directory for text traffic. You see a message that you swear you hadn't noticed before. You look at it, it was transmitted. You suspect from looking at the address, redirected, but from a public terminal in the civilian sector. And it says, "We have information on your infiltrator on RACO and a lot more. Would like to discuss an exchange. Come to Storage Bay D19 at 2200. Come alone. Spread this information or try anything, and the offer goes to the other side. You'll need a code. 79X4B. Signed, Black Jesters."
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
D19, what was the...
2200 hours.
So that's after the meeting.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And other than that, you just have the rest of your reports.
Yeah. And also, well, I'll get into it at the meeting.
Okay. Anything anybody needs to get done before we step foot in? Okay.
I will get those first lieutenant bars.
You will bring them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to ruin his dreams.
I'm sure you and Commander Argus are there
Early.
a few minutes early, so some of the rest of the staff starts to arrive, but you two are probably the first ones there.
Victor,
Yes.
before we get started, CompForce is promoting Thorn.
Yes, I saw the message.
I brought the bars. I can pin it on him.
Sounds good to me.
He'll be coming in dress. I kind of smirk.
You don't typically see Argus smirk, but he does. Once before when he stabbed a man.
Damn.
Take a dark side point. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wait. Do I succumb?
Nope.
He stabs me.
I did. And you have to roll under your dark side total.
How does that work?
You got to roll under your dark side total.
Okay.
So 1's free. 2, you might go.
like Spider-Man.
the first one's always free.
and dark side points.
That's exactly
Everyone
how
gets one. All right. Lieutenant Seslin arrives promptly.
Before much, I don't want my XO to be blindsided. I'm gonna say, did you see any of this other stuff, this traffic we got here, this message? Our sector command.
Didn't come to me.
Well, Ostesh is getting promoted. He's going to be the commander, the XO, upon return.
Okay.
He. Oh, I'm sorry.
He's the new XO coming in.
He will be.
Who is now going to be the
Commander.
Yes. They will be. They want to take away the TIE interceptors. We need a plan around that.
Yeah. That can't happen.
Well, we may lose too. In an unfortunate dogfight.
Yes. Yeah.
And outside of this Thorn promotion, you know about, you mentioned the detachments.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're going to be taking Hethan away, and they want us to kill the rebel prisoners.
Well,
once interrogation is complete. I'm not quite sure it's complete yet.
I don't think so either.
Apparently, Ostesh is going to be running a counterinsurgency on Virax too. And somehow they believe that taking away these TIE interceptors are going to help with this.
Wise. Well.
Yeah. All 100 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Seslin steps in the door. Gentlemen, am I interrupting?
By all means, Seslin, come on in.
She comes and sits down.
What's her first name? Shanna. Shauna?
Shauna.
Shoshana!
Shit, what was her casting?
Wasn't it Tig Notaro?
Yeah.
Awesome.
To remember, you can picture Lieutenant Seslin as Tig Notaro. Notaro?
Yes. Notaro.
Notaro. She sits down at the ops seat. Well, really, the seats aren't labeled, but where ops usually sits. And she kind of smiles tightly at the two of you, and she says, "It's awful nice to be back in this chair and have you both back in those."
Thank you, Shauna. You've done great work.
Indeed, everything seemed to be running smoothly without us. Perhaps we should take more vacations on Victor.
Based on our luck down on the planet, I was surprised to see the station still standing.
Dean, you did receive actually you probably both did, after action report. Cecilin,
Sure.
Along with Sue and Cass, planned that whole operation, but
Yep.
she was in charge of running it.
Mhm.
She wasn't there, but directing and planning. She performed pretty admirably.
Yeah.
Keeping the station and everything going. You hear a click of heels, and you look up,
I
and you
assume somebody rolled a grenade in the room.
a pressed and polished Lieutenant Anter Thorne standing at the position of attention in the doorway.
Come on in, Thorne. Have a seat.
Yes, sir.
You look smart.
Thank you, sir. Uniform represents both the individual and the organization, and of course the Empire.
Oh, Thorn, before we get started, I stand up. I have a little box in my hand.
I step away.
I just wanted to say congratulations on your promotion. Glad I could be here to pin this on your chest. I take the
Yes, he looks back over his shoulder at
No,
other people not
There's
being
one
here.
person sitting there. It's the ops lady.
I'm in my duty uniform with my flight jacket on. I like I'm
Perhaps
he tries delay it. I just step up to him, grab his collar and pin it on, and I kind of brush his shoulder, and I salute him.
I extend a gloved hand.
he steps back, salutes, and then
I shake his hand.
takes Argus's hand.
Well done.
Well deserved.
Tap him on the back twice.
What would his title now be?
Lieutenant.
It's still lieutenant.
Okay.
Second lieutenant, first lieutenants are both called
Yeah.
lieutenant. And he
Well
he's-
deserved, Thorne.
You see a mix of emotions of both pride, but also he's clearly not.
He's not happy
This
with
didn't go as planned in his head.
Oh, yeah.
He probably had a pretty good
That's
idea
my
of
favorite.
what this ceremony was going to look like.
You see, you peer outside. There's a mariachi band outside. And they're he's go away.
You see him kind of stride over to his chair off to the side, and he kind of stands there at parade rest, still kind of formally. Orn, Doc, you guys kind of arrive at the same time.
I'm just kind of sitting on the desk
I kind of
casually.
stand aside and let the doctor go through first.
Thorne, thank you.
Of course, doctor.
Gentlemen, did you hear the news?
Thorn is already in the process of turning towards you and, kind of holding
Chest
his
out.
chest out.
Thorne here has been promoted.
Orn nods slowly.
First lieutenant.
Congratulations, Thorne.
It's an honor, and of course the greater honor is serving the Empire.
Well deserved. And Orn holds
said.
out his hand.
He reaches out and shakes your hand, tries to give you a little bit of a squeeze.
Okay. Yep.
Dan kills him with a Gamja bar.
Man, we totally fucked this up. We should have given Orrin a promotion at the same time.
No shit.
I like being junior grade, though.
Yeah.
You
Under
you're
the
under the radar.
Cass rolls in, Roy shortly behind him. Last as usual, the fucking pilot. Sue shows up a couple minutes past 1200.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Just you see he's got disorganized scraps of paper in his hand, and goes over and sits down and then looks up at Thorne.
First order of business. Congratulations to Lieutenant Thorne, who's now first lieutenant.
He's still standing.
I clap.
Yeah.
It's one of those
Slowly.
birthday office claps that are very unenthusiastic.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen. Thank all of you. I would like to think that it takes a team for any individual accomplishment, and
Argus has a vision in his head of just a torpedo coffin with lieutenant stripes on it as it gets blasted into space as we say goodbye to Thorne with all the pomp and circumstance that a first lieutenant deserves.
Well, to the business of running the station then.
Sure. The first thing I would like to do is I would like to take a moment to recognize Lieutenant Cecilin. She planned that search and rescue op, of course, with the help of Cass and
Sue.
Sue. And I just want to say thank you very much. You did a great job in our absence, and it was nice to have a home to return to, as humble as it is. We appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Getting you back was critical personally, and of course to our mission here.
Yes. We didn't want to end up like Hethna, did we?
No.
Well, I'll turn it over to the XO. I go and sit down.
Well,
I take some notes while he talks.
now that we're back, perhaps a department head review is in session. Nero, why don't you go first?
Nero clears his throat and he stands. During our absence, I received some reports that I had requested from Sector Intelligence, namely on who we presumed the rebels were here at Virax. Sela Lavar. It is not surprising. She is wanted in 12 different systems. She's a proficient commando, as we have experienced.
Firsthand.
And she specializes in recruiting native populations.
I see.
It explains her presence here. And
They don't often see blondes, do they? I don't actually say that.
Josh, question for you. Do I have any sense of how a reward would work in the sense that it's my job, like militarily. There's no way we would get a reward for killing them, right?
Yeah, so a reward that is offered by the Empire, so you wouldn't expect a financial compensation.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you would be cleared to authorize for a bounty hunter, for anything like that.
Yep.
You do, I mean, you don't have a ton of inner workings of the Imperial machine, but you expect that, someone that wanted would certainly bring accommodation, promotion, something like that.
Okay. I am not going to reveal the specifics of the reward.
Okay.
I am just going to say...
What you do is you catch them, you make a deal with somebody.
Or you just have a
Yeah,
alias.
I'm there.
Okay.
I'm definitely there. So that's what
She was
I wanted
captured
to...
by the bounty hunter, Diro Norn.
yeah.
Just put your name backwards.
Right.
Oh, wait.
Perfect. So Nero, he says kind of at the end of that little speech about Sela Lavar, he says the Empire is motivated to find her.
7 systems, did you say?
12.
Do you know if she has the death sentence on 12 systems?
More than likely, sir. In addition, her 2 main associates, Genin Al-Khan, who is no longer. He was the pilot, the smuggler with the underworld connections, and we now have his ship. And who I believe is here on RACO Station, Jorund Peskarn. He is a Kriva, a near human, with a special talent for infiltration. Through his skeletal control and pigmentation, he can adapt.
Argus shoots a look over to the doctor when he starts talking about this guy's ability.
He is an infiltration expert,
Of course.
both with security and technical expertise.
Matt, you've heard of the race Kriva. Just as Dan said, they do have some unique racial abilities. They are fairly uncommon, and there is a range in the species. Some that it's relatively minor, and then where it's more pronounced that can actually get the appearance of someone else. Don't picture, like sci-fi changeling or T-1000. It's more, picture, have you ever seen like some of the crazy transformation Jim Carrey can do with his face? Times like 10.
Sure.
Gotcha.
A more, so he can't
Like
go.
someone that had high cheekbones becomes like more sullen and
Exactly.
like changes like from being, pale to...
Couldn't look like somebody else, but can change his own appearance enough to pass away.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And Nero says, I'm speculating, sir, but I believe it's the man I chased through the lower decks.
Indeed.
Stella was injured in the combat, right?
She was.
No sign of her body?
No. And 2 other details. Our Viper droid, outside the area of the VAD belt, in the outer system has picked up passive sensors detected on the surface of Virac 6. It's a small site, sir, believed to have some moderate communication and scanning capabilities. We don't know who it is, but based on its subterfuge, I'd suggest it's illicit.
It's not the NVA. Fucking NVA.
Charlie's in the bush at Virac 6.
Fucking Free Clary Front. Do we think it's them?
More likely to be the Black Jesters.
Black Jesters.
Probably scanning for ships inbound.
Sure. Easy
Something to
pickings. Virac 6 small site. And they seem to have some sort of surveillance tech there.
Yes. Could be rebel, but it also, based on how we've interacted with the Black Jesters, I'd be more likely to lean in that direction, sir.
Very well. Be a bit brazen for the rebels to be out.
To establish an actual listening post? Maybe. But the one other thing I'd like to report before I am done, I have been monitoring the chatter on board the station. There is a lot of discussion about the death of Vader and the Emperor.
That was going to come out eventually.
And it may be being pushed by...
Deep sigh from Thorn.
If someone like Piscarn is actually aboard the ship, he may be promoting it.
Of course.
I think priority is finding where he is.
So this Jorn Piscarn, is that the name he goes by? Is that a name that we have on record here?
Nero nods.
Well, we should probably begin revoking.
You don't have that name on record on the station.
Oh, sorry.
That's the name that you got from Sector Intel.
Yeah, I was assuming you were asking his official name. Okay. Yep. Nero says, there's no one on board the ship or RACO station with that name.
All right. He's halfway competent then.
More than that, sir.
So we need to find this person. Doctor, are you familiar with the Kriva?
I am, yes.
I'd like us to figure out a way to neutralize this ability.
Sir, it's
Maybe-
not quite that simple. It's it'd be like if a stroke in one of us, or basic paralyzation of muscular structure of his face, and without
Yes.
Yeah.
My medical knowledge seems to be lacking. Is there a way for us to detect Kriva with simple DNA screening? If so, we need to screen the entire station.
Yeah,
Absolutely, sir.
we're
I
gonna-
actually took samples from the crew a few weeks back once the parasite was discovered on board. I can go back and we can try to cross-reference some of those samples, but I don't know how long it would take.
Very well, but it should be something we do. And please, this is incredibly sensitive information here. This needs to be presented as a prophylactic to this brain slug.
Absolutely, sir.
Yes, I sense much money in the pharmaceutical company's future for this never-ending problem we're going to face.
Pfizer.
Sorry. So, Doctor, if possible, we can position it as this. Precautionary measures based on some recent findings with these brain slugs. Department
Absolutely.
heads, he will need your support on this.
Anything else, Nero?
Anyone who wants to maybe make a perception roll can, but he takes a half beat and says, no, nothing else.
I'll make a perception roll.
Dan, why don't you roll a deception or con?
Deception.
Con.
Con,
Old
and
school.
anyone
What
can
do-
I'll
roll
roll.
con to oppose that.
How about interrogation? Does that not count?
I don't think if you're passively.
Fine.
If you were like questioning him.
I don't. Are you sure? No, can I? Fucking cheese ball. No,
Perception as a base or con if you have it.
I don't.
Perception.
But perception.
It's 16 for Vilfunk.
21 for me.
12.
9.
Pretty good liar there, huh?
Yeah.
Not particularly.
You're a liar.
You probably just chalk it up to like him like sighing, like
Yeah.
in terms of exhaustion. And I'm gonna write you something, Josh.
Matt, you the doctor does just kind of your overall. You've noticed some, I don't want to call them discrepancies, but some differences in Lieutenant Orn.
Oh, absolutely. Ever since the frequency tests, and I got back those results that showed he didn't exactly follow directions, I've been keeping an eye on him.
Yep, and you know that he had requested some medication from you, and you think he may be under the effects of some medication. Is your medical opinion? His physical and mental state seems slightly altered. Obviously, there are, other factors involved. You guys just did return from a harrowing near-death experience, but as a doctor and a perceptive one, you think there might be a little bit more to it.
Okay.
One more question, Doctor. The Kriva, they can alter their appearance. Can they look like others?
Not in any replicatable way, sir. It's more of a uniqueness to the individual.
I see. That means anyone you don't recognize is under suspicion. Understood?
Yes.
Understood. Well, Doc, better time than any. Any updates on Slimu?
Yes. There's actually quite a bit with the med department. Planetside casualties are currently being treated. Sergeant Herlick will be able to return to duty within the next few days. He'll have a few bandages and bruises, but for the most part, nothing serious. As for Private Evos, he will be out for at least another month to recover. And until my back-to-tank is operational, expect delays such as this for any major injury going forward. And as for Slimo, it will be at least another 3 to 4 weeks for him as well. He puts on a tough face and thinks he can return to duty in a week, but, well, that won't be possible.
Understood.
And as for our mentally charged Onasi, he is stable and healing quite nicely, actually.
Good news.
Yes.
How's the commander?
Just going to speak on his behalf, sir. It is, well, it's getting a bit more dire, sir. That parasite seems to be preparing for its end of phase life cycle, and as we have recently discovered, that means breeding, sir.
Yeah,
and
indeed.
as we found, these parasites will, once breed, generally kill the host and release larvae from their body and infect any who come near it. Now, it does seem that they need a water source to incubate in, which luckily there are none in Medbay, but it is not sealed, especially with the lasting damage as well. Yes, sir.
Can we make some security arrangements for quarantine?
He is under quarantine currently, sir. It is hermetically sealed, but, well, without witnessing the size of these larvae, I can't be sure whether or not they won't find some other way out.
Do you have any probabilities on risk to the crew in total?
I do not, sir. We are working at the numbers now, but I dare say that it wouldn't be good.
Given that the larva being birthed, apparently, according to our friends on the planet side, would be catastrophic to his health, is it not best to attempt to remove it by surgery?
Well, surgery poses an 80 to 95% chance of death for the commander under our current operating status in Medbay, sir. With the lack of undamaged equipment. I would say that it would be better to try to operate, if
What is the
only for the
percentage?
safety of the crew.
What is the percentage if that thing gives birth in his spinal column?
Well, sir, without firsthand knowledge, I would say probably close to about the same.
I say operate. Less risk to the crew. Same risk to Hathna.
Argus smiles.
It's unfortunate. If we had known more about it when he was infected, perhaps it would have been easier, especially in the state of the med bay. But at this point, it's not going to last long enough for the incoming XO to take him away. Oh, no. Did you tell me that? Sorry.
I did.
You did. I probably won't say that because that's your thing. He probably won't last long enough to be sent to a real med bay, or at least one that's functioning.
Which is 10 to 12 days away. I just received a report that Hathna's going to be taken out of here into a more state-of-the-art facility. Of course, this does not reflect upon your skill, Wilfug. Are you telling me that this thing's going to enter final phase within the next 10 to 12 days, or before?
I would say so, sir. I would say within the week, if all signs point to that.
Within the week?
Yes.
Um,
Now,
Far be it for me to dispute my first officer. Little Kirk line for you.
Promotion by subtraction.
sir, Orna and I did perform an experiment with the parasite and frequencies. We noticed
Nero looks straight ahead.
Audio frequencies?
radio, sir. We noticed it had an
You
effect on the
didn't play
parasite.
Led Zeppelin at it?
More controlled bursts, sir,
I see.
of high and low frequencies and different time spans. The lower frequencies seem to almost pacify the parasite, whereas high frequencies seem to exacerbate and, well, it seemed to affect the commander in a high stimulant way. He essentially woke up, sir.
This is awesome. This reminds me of Ripley trying to explain this, and I'm just like, look, man, I only want to know one thing. No, I say to Wilfug, I say, Doctor, I do not have the training or intellect to understand the nuance of what it is you are trying to accomplish with the commander, but I do trust you. You are one of the finest medical officers I've ever had the pleasure of serving with. I agree with the executive officer. I motion a gloved hand towards him. I think you should do what you need to. I don't know what pacify means in medical terms, nor do I know what exacerbate means. Does pacify mean it'll slow the process of it reproducing? I don't know. You know. I'm going to trust what you do on this. If you decide that you need to make this move to attempt to extract it, to keep the entire station safe based on your preliminary probabilities on infection for the entire crew, which of course will lead us all to a terrible fate by the sound of it, then I will sign off on this surgery with the full confidence that you will do everything in your power to succeed at it. Should the commander not make it, of course, this would be terrible. Should he make it, this would be great.
You look across the table and Nero is watching you carefully.
I will get together with Lieutenant Harper right after this meeting, and we will devise a surgical game plan going forward, sir.
Very well.
I do have a few other notes, non-medically related, sir.
By all means.
Miss Falcone's office has reached out, and Kuiper will be sending a ship within 6 days with supplies.
Excellent news.
She
I
said
look
they'll be
over at
sending.
Cam.
It'll be 4 security sections, 20 troopers each, as well as 2 system patrol crafts. They have stated that 2 of the security sections will be stationed here on RACO, and the other 2 will be split between Kuiper facilities inside the system. one on Virax 1, as well as the other in the station over Virax 4.
All right. I'm assuming they're sending their own supplies with these vehicles and these men?
Yes, sir.
Make sure those manifests gets over to Ops.
Certainly.
When you say Seslin nods appreciatively over at you, Randar.
Anything else?
No, sir, that's all for me.
All right. Ops?
Not much to report beyond we are back
Beyond
to...
you saving our asses? Yeah.
She kind of looks down, blushes. She says, it was anything but my efforts. Lieutenant Sue and Captain Cass were the ones who were putting themselves at risk. I was merely helping to coordinate. But we are back to normal operations. The Phalanx 2 is out on a routine patrol. Indrali Hunter is on standby. Personnel are stretched, but we are within capacity. I've sent after action to both of you, gentlemen. I do have a proposed operation. I had been working on it before you departed. But Commander Randar, you had indicated some leads on a possibility of a proactive mission against the Black Jesters, and I have the outline of a concept of operations for such a move.
Excellent.
It would be force intensive, but she looks kind of unsurely at Nero. If we can deal with the right information, I think there's a high probability of success.
She's a commander, right?
A lieutenant, a full Navy lieutenant.
What is your timetable, Lieutenant?
Well, from approval of the operation, barring any major changes, I think it could be carried out within 3 days.
Nero kind of nods slowly.
Well, sooner rather than later. From what Victor has told me, we might be losing some interceptors.
Indeed.
Better make use of them.
Sue goes, what's that?
What does Roy do?
Victor?
Roy just kind of sits further into his seat, his arms folded, shaking his head.
Yes, Selim Ostesh is going to join the resupply as the new commanding officer of the RACO station in 10 to 12 days. In addition, we're going to receive some fuel parts, logistical replacements, of course, and good news, 6 shiny new TIE fighters. And they're going to be taking the DX-77th with them to reinforce other sector priorities.
Randar, it already occurred to you, but you see it flashing in Sue's mind. He was the flight lead of the 77th, so he came over with the interceptors.
Yeah.
He says, what? What do you mean?
This is the message from Sector Command, Arif Sector Command.
Sir, the interceptors, that's the best gun we got in this fight.
I agree.
And, not for nothing, but, that's me. What are they going to do with us?
They're not going to do anything with you. Don't worry. I'll do anything in my power to keep the interceptors here. That's mine to figure out.
If you say so, sir. He looks back at his scattered papers on the table.
I'm looking through a data pad at the star system, looking at places to hide ships.
Okay.
Your focus, Sue, will be working with Ops on this Black Jester operative.
All right. I'll, we talked a little bit about it, but definitely need to get more up to speed. As far as the CAG portion, while I'm CAG or whatever, we're okay.
You're still the CAG.
All right, sir. He's looking through his papers.
Nero, while he's flipping through his papers, says, I would like to offer my assistance with the Black Jesters as well.
Of course.
So we got 9 TIE fighters, 4 interceptors. They're all up. They all need maintenance. He looks kind of nervously at Roy. Basically, every bird we had did some planetary ops, and you know how atmosphere plays on those ion engines. So I know Roy, but I mean we can keep them moving, we can keep them rotating. But if we can kind of work out maintenance cycle operations, couple a day or whatever you can manage.
Well, we need to maintain whatever ruse for the op, but beyond that, make sure that we're putting them on as light a duty as we can. Get them operational for the op itself.
Roy turns to you, Argus, says, anything in that message about extra arms that I'm going to grow? Anything coming in for me to somehow fix everything?
Is that it from CAG?
Yeah, that's about it, sir, gentlemen.
Engineering?
Argus regards Sue for just a moment. He just kind of looks at him. If Sue returns his gaze, he looks away. I don't want to intimidate him.
He catches your eye and
I look away.
How do you feel about, Sue does have a bit of lack of professionalism that, depending on your perspective.
Yes, well, he comes from Randar, so it's to be expected on some level. But I trust Randar's judgment, but I assume it's his first meeting like this with us in the room, so I'm cutting him some slack.
Okay.
I think he'll get better.
All right. Roy leans forward.
Speaking of lack of professionalism.
All right. Well, where do we start? Well, that Lamba, got it back mostly in one piece, and she'll fly again eventually. Shockingly, there's no major structural damage. I mean, it's banged up, it's dinged up, lots of panel work needed. The interior got some issues with it. Of course, got a good couple score of blaster marks on it, but
here's the good news, Roy. Not until Commander Hethna has recovered from his surgery will he be needing it for his planet-side gallivanting.
Excellent. I'll be sure to have it ready.
Hopefully he read the sarcasm.
Did the commander just joke about the
Yes.
the XO
I was
dying?
I was trying to cut Roy some slack.
It's right on brand for him.
I was trying to cut Roy some slack so he doesn't have to freak about the fucking Lambda.
The biggest issue with electronics, I mean, a lot of it's fried for good. The core systems are pretty much all right, but a lot's going to need to get rewired. Everything's going to need to get reprogrammed, and it depends how much of a priority you want to make it. But it's out for the interim at the minimum.
Well, we have that freighter still that we captured.
Yeah, thinking about that. I've gone over a couple times, and she's actually got a couple tricks up her sleeve, and she certainly doesn't have the class of the Lamba. You want to stride down there looking all imperial and all. But it'll get us there. It's about the same capacity in terms of passengers, a little bit shorter. But, grab a bottle, bake it over the bow, rechristen it, the whatever death's head, and call it a day.
Jackass.
How many smuggling compartments does it have?
Ooh, good half dozen varying sizes that I've found. It's I feel like I catch another one every time I scan through it. Some of them are pretty small.
Hopefully we never have to smuggle ourselves in it.
Sounds familiar.
Called foreshadowing, everyone.
All right. Other than that, yeah, I know, Sue. I was anticipating that. Those engines are all going to need some tuning, but we'll cycle through them. I know we want to keep us up operational, so just make sure we're working hard, getting through a couple a day.
August does an interesting squint at Roy when he seems to take it easy on the new guy. I didn't expect that, and I note it.
All right.
Because he normally, if that was somebody else, if that was Randar, oh boy. Oh yeah, no problem. We'll clean them up for you real good. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He does. It almost feels like a big brotherly kind of.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. Interesting. I never noted that before about him because I don't typically go watch him work on the deck, but interesting.
Anyway, other than that, we've been getting some plus ups on fuel from Kuiper. Have gotten a little bit of that Starfighter grade. We certainly burned a lot getting you back, but I guess it's worth the trade off. But it's we're low. But if that resupplies in 10 to 12 days, I think we can pull off regular operations and maybe whatever Cessna's spinning up.
Don't count that resupply till it's being loaded onto the deck.
Sure. Heard that before. Other than that, well, station's as solid as she ever is.
Excellent. Cast, anything for TAC?
Nothing major. Have my after action report to your desk as well by the end of the day. Men are tired. I hate to say it. Never thought I'd look forward to corporate security types, but 2 sections would definitely help with onboard station security and allow us to prioritize the Marines to be used for what they really should be doing.
Owen, can you get that information over to Cass immediately so we can begin implementing an integration?
Nero nods.
One last thing, just a reminder, sir, about the offer from the NCC about some sort of liaison detachment up here. Corporate security, their bodies, I'm sure they're proficient to a degree, but they're even less proficient than we are at dealing with the Kaleri.
Any overture to the NCC, I think, is in our best interest at this point.
Hell, if you can get some detectives, perhaps they can help us out with our infiltrator.
Do you want me to follow up directly with that, sir?
Sure thing.
Roger that. That's all for TAC. And I'll get with Lieutenant Seslin on our role in this. She's mentioned something briefly on the way in.
Good.
Force intensive.
Well, we've had our time in the dirt. Time to get back out on the open range.
The wide open. Victor, anything beyond them stealing 4 tire interceptors from us?
You look over.
Oh, I apologize. Lieutenant Thorne,
Yes.
what's the news from CompForce?
Victor taps the desk, annoyed.
He stands, his hands folded crisply in front of him. Well, along with the promotion, I've also received word that a detachment will be sent to be put under my command. 2 squads of premier CompForce troopers. So, Captain, corporate security is not something we have to rely on. Additionally, we will have an intelligence section to make sure that intelligence becomes a priority. His eyes float over Lieutenant Orn.
Becomes?
Well, internal security.
Do you have details of this force coming in?
I know that they will be inbound along with the new CO, and I know that they are the cream of the crop, as all CompForce is.
Nero sort of slouched in his chair, just regarding him.
Great. Well, you'll be coordinating with Cass and any operations on station and on planet with your new detachment?
Yes, I look forward to it. He looks...
Be sure to lean on his expertise and his experience in the field. Cass is a hardened veteran. Thorn.
You see some of the bluster has come back from his deflating experience, his deflating promotion. But he kind of nods to you and nods respectfully at Cass.
Well, if that's all.
Yes.
Argus just thinks hardened veteran. We're going to need men like him.
And
I stand up. Argus stands up and he says, clearing his throat, Orn's chatter disturbs me. People talking about the death of Vader and the death of the Emperor, while of course great leaders, we are more than 2 people. We need to make sure that we do not let our morale slip away into darkness regarding this setback. There's plenty of brilliant and talented officers. Many of them sit right in this room in the Empire. And we need to do what we always do. Rely on our training and our discipline to see ourselves through. Although we will miss their leadership, we must remember that we're trained. We know what to do. We're all doing it. We're not going to fold just because these powerful men, many sectors away, who have very little to do with our lives, have passed on.
Lieutenant Thorne says, excuse me, if I may, sir, can I add one thing? I thought perhaps that if the word is indeed out on the streets, instead of the rabble letting them spin their own web of lies, we can nip it in the bud with a statement about our full faith and confidence and the Emperor's ruling council stepping in seamlessly to maintain order and discipline.
I look forward to your draft.
Yes, sir. I will have it to you by the end of the day. It's something that the men will need to hear.
Interrupt me again and I'll murder you.
Wait, just a point
I'll
of...
murder you right in that fucking chair. fucking swearing in there.
point of clarification,
Yes.
right? So we did get a like a request or a command to rendezvous with another kind of splinter group of the Empire at one point. Is that correct?
Like it was an all broadcast request, I think. Not necessarily specifically to
I think
us.
Arif.
Arif is your
Is
It's
our
ours.
new
It's the
coming
adjacent one.
you're on the edge of the Arif sector.
Yep.
So, and if any of this is confusing for non 100% Star Wars nerds, think of like
Arif sector? Yep.
a system as a town and the sector is the state or
Yeah.
whatever. So you are on the border with the next sector over, which is the Jebuik sector.
Jebuik.
And there was a transmission that Commander Argus did share only with the senior staff, not with Thorn,
Yeah.
about basically declaring the Empire's ruling council as illegitimate
Right.
and
It's a coup by the Jebuik commander.
attempting. Yeah. Well, basically they saying that the ERC in effect is their own coup and saying that they're the rightful.
And that was so. I have for the Jebuik sector that it was Admiral Rorvat, and it's Admiral Chamfers for the Arif sector that
Yes.
we're in.
So
Admiral Rorvat would be kind of the head of that splinter group.
as far as
Yeah.
you haven't kind of prodded into this directly.
Sure.
Your efforts have been in different areas. You only heard about it really from Commander Argus.
Yeah, it was just when Thorn said, the ruling council, it kind of jogged my memory that the system at large, the politics at large for the Empire are pretty fractious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fair. A lot of coup attempts, I
Yep.
think, was a concern. Warlords.
And you do know, actually, Dan, I'm sorry, one additional piece of information that you picked up from your back door into Kuiper Corpse.
Yep.
Which, by the way, when you came back, that is gone.
Wow.
But you suspect it's from a routine
Sweep.
like security overhaul reset.
Yep.
That any corporation of that magnitude
Okay.
would do. But you did see internal communiques that talked about various Imperial fragments and sectors having issues, and Kuiper being motivated to ensure loyalty of their Imperial commands to the ERC
Right.
and the core worlds.
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Thorn was done interrupting you.
Okay. Got it. After he says that, I say I look forward to your draft or something of this nature. I do mention that I did say that already, didn't I? Or
Yes.
he did? One of us did?
You said
Okay,
about
cool.
us,
Right.
actually.
Yeah, when I brought up the TIE interceptors, you brought it up.
All right. I don't have anything else more to say, to be frank. I just say we have work to do.
Very well. Lieutenant Thorn stands crisply. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure. Look forward to continuing our work.
Indeed.
And good to know the cavalry is coming.
Yes. Well, dismissed, Thorn.
He about faces smartly and clicks out of the room. Roy kind of gives a hoot under his breath. hate to mutter that uniform, but could use some more hands if
Thorn.
get scrubbing. All right, I'm out of here, gentlemen.
Dismissed.
He heads out.
Well done.
Everyone
All right.
kind of starts to file out.
Okay. I'm trying. Argus has an idea, but it's not a good one. It's a bad, evil idea.
Almost
I think I want to
prompt it.
recruit Orn for it. I don't know if I can trust Randar.
Randar says, so Victor,
Yes.
what are we going to do about these interceptors and that
You guys are just
incoming
walking down
commander?
the hall.
Yeah, probably to see.
No, I think we stayed behind.
Stay,
just
yeah, stay
sitting.
behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're walking.
Nero hasn't left from
We
his,
asked you to, I say, join us.
he's working on something on his data pad at the moment. So he hadn't even gotten up yet, but he just
Okay.
stops and looks up at the two of you.
Got it.
What's Wilfog up to?
You should stay too. I trust you implicitly, Wilfog.
Yeah, Wilfug was gonna stay and talk to Argus alone, but since everybody's still hanging out, he's gonna kind of hang out
The
as
awkward
well.
thing.
like,
Jesus.
yeah.
When you want
Just
to
go
like,
full Imperial.
when you wanna
we
hang
got
out-
how many sessions left?
when you want to
Let's
hang out with
just
a girl
go.
by yourself, like together, but there's like other people there, and you want to
it's
say
the
like,
worst.
"Come on, just leave."
Yeah.
And they never leave.
Never leave.
You're like, fuck off already. All right, I say, what are you proposing, Poro?
I mean, we can try to hide the interceptors, but it made it sound like the entire flight was going to be sent out, which means Sue. And I'd hate to lose him as a pilot.
4 interceptors, huh?
Hiding 4 interceptors, even saying they're destroyed. There'd have to be some very interesting after-action report for that one.
Unless the power structure remained the same. Nero just says that out into the open.
I'm gonna. This is an interesting.
He
This will be an
doesn't, he
interesting
doesn't
scene.
look up. He doesn't look up. He's,
okay,
he's working off his data.
Actually,
pad.
Randor looks over it.
I'm gonna pay
Oren.
He's
close.
just looking down.
Well, he looks at him. Okay. Argus's concern is random. Okay. I'm going to pay very close attention because I'm pretty sure Will fucking Oren will start a criminal organization with me. And I think Randar is one bad order away from going, fuck this. To not me, but to the big boys.
That's dangerous talk, Oren.
It was just a statement of fact.
A lot of chaos in this sector. We're going to introduce more chaos when that commander comes.
They want us to execute the pilots.
Why?
I smile down at my data pad because I know exactly what he's doing.
What is the point? We've gotten the information we need out of them.
I think that is their point. These are our superiors we're talking about, Randar.
You know, treat them. If I were to get shot down, the rebels aren't going to execute me, are they?
I don't know. I would hope not. Seems like a waste, doesn't it?
Yes.
Senseless, even.
Josh, sorry. Go ahead.
Argus looks around and he flexes his fist in his glove, holding his little data pad stylus. He taps it on the table 3 times and then says, "Suppose the convoy never made it here."
Suppose. We're going to flush all that fuel, supplies, and the TIE fighters down the drain for a little mutiny.
Mutiny. Randar. I would never suggest such a thing.
Victor,
Yes.
if you're going to say it, might as well say it out loud.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of danger going on between Jabuic and Arif. There's a power struggle. The intelligence here. I'm going to surreptitiously look at Orn. Argus is going to surreptitiously look at just a quick flash of the eye. A quick communication that says, sometimes these arrival and departure times fall into the wrong hands. Ambushes occur.
You see Nero pause for a half second on his data pad and then start again.
Now you're...
Does he know? Does he know? Let me rephrase.
You don't actually say that out loud.
Yep.
What part?
Or did you say that out loud?
What part?
About things being...
No, I just said, no, here's what I said. Here's what I said out loud. Let me be very, very clear before I end up on a prison planet.
Can you read back the record?
Yeah, roll it back.
Did you not say, on Wednesday Imperial Standard Time 1726, that quote? Here's what I'm saying out loud. I'm saying there's a power struggle between Arif and Jabuic. Information in this station leaks like a sieve. It would be unfortunate if, well, we live in dangerous times, Randar, and we need to be very careful.
Matt, what is the doctor? Are you showing any visible reaction to this?
No. He's probably... I mean, the family that he's from, he's probably heard similar things take place amongst relatives, and I think Vilfug kind of understands that at the top, this is kind of how it is played.
Okay.
He's seen what it's like to not be on the winning side.
Josh, a quick question for you. I remember when you first gave a description of the incoming XO, or
Yes.
yeah, the incoming XO,
Who's now the incoming CO.
CO, right?
Yep.
There was a battle that he led, right? That was heavy casualties.
No, that was the Admiral.
that was the admiral.
That's the
Sector
admiral
Admiral
that's
of
in
Arif.
command of you
Okay.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I have personal experience with that.
He's a shit
So,
bird.
Yep.
The guy who's taking your TIE interceptors away.
Correct.
yeah, you know,
That's-
and you probably know, because I think I said out loud about that Admiral.
And he is chamfers?
Chamfers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope everyone listening at home has your printed out dramatis persona.
Yeah. And the TIE fighter group was 70.
That's just that the TIE interceptors is the 77th
Okay.
squadron, DX 77th.
Nero says, "It is dangerous times, but I'm sure Admiral Chamfers knows the best use for the 77th."
Rando, you're pretty sure that
Yeah.
is to protect Sector Command.
Yep. Randar looks over at Orin.
Clear sarcasm coming from Orrin.
Yep. He looks at you like a very dead stare.
I know exactly what Chamfers is going to do with the DX 77th.
Is he going to want to take Sue?
Sue's one of the best pilots. Might as well take an ace. He has more combat experience than most people on this station.
Well, in 10 to 12 days, none of us will be in command here, will we?
No. We'll be thrust between Chamfers and Jabuik. Used as a shield. It's not uncommon from him. That commanding officer, he doesn't know what he's coming into. And from the sounds of it, especially with the orders about the captives, they're going to rain hell on New Caleri.
That's what I believe. Counterinsurgency.
That means
We've all been through it. We've all been through the academy and the training. We know what that means.
and they have no idea what they're up against. We'll be mired in this conflict. This conflict and the conflict with the other admiral.
Yes, this is going to turn into an planet of ash.
It is a shame the Caleri could be a powerful ally,
We need those.
especially with this. And you see Nero put on the table one of those energy cells. So I used one of my my special ability, my character, where I spend a character point, and I
Right
said
time,
that
right place.
the right time, right place,
Yeah.
that the Caleri that we brought on board
Had one.
had one on
Nice.
him.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. If they get wind of that, they're going to evict the Caleri.
If I know anything about the Free Caleri Front, they will destroy all of that before they even get a chance to put their hands on it. It's exactly what any one of us in this room would do. Salt the earth rather than give it up.
I have no love for the Caleri, but their aims are the same as ours. Peace, prosperity. Kuiper, too.
And profit, which comes from peace and prosperity.
Maybe you're right, Victor.
How's that?
Communication, a leak.
Anything's possible. We have a spy on the station.
I hate to lose out on that supply.
Indeed.
Dangerous talk, gentlemen. Dangerous talk.
Good episode title. I say, well, who knows if the information's going to leak? Anything could happen. Here's what I do know. Thorn receiving 2 squadrons of CompForce in addition to an intelligence detachment. I understand he'll be planet side, but this admiral coming in, TIE fighters going out, us possibly losing our CAG. I didn't see any personnel requests on there, but usually that's part of this package. I'm not sure.
I feel like with the CompForce that Thorn's getting, that leash will be broken.
Indeed. Yes.
Chaos all around.
Be a shame if he tightened it too much.
You hear the proximity alert
I
coming
stand up.
from the CIC.
I walk out of the wardroom, I guess.
Yep.
Towards the CIC.
You're you walk
I'm
out.
assuming it's attached.
Yep, you're in that adjacent kind of conference room. You walk out into the CIC and you see the red alerts flashing. Lieutenant Vraylan is one of the ops guys who's the watch officer right now.
Report.
So we have a capital ship just entering through the Vad Belt.
What class?
It's Imperial, sir. Bayonet class cruiser. It appears to be
Who is she?
SS Darkstar.
Excellent.
They're hailing us now.
On screen. Let's see what they have to say.
The comm channel opens.
This
and
is RACO Actual.
You hear a familiar voice. RACO Actual. This is Commander Azilla of the SS Darkstar. Greetings, Victor, from the Jebuok sector. And we'll see you next week.
At least we have a friend.
Yeah, we got a friend.
At least she's a friend.
What's she rolling?
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Nastagram. We hope you're enjoying Empire's End. You know the deal. We're going to ask you to spread the word, tell a friend, post about it online, do whatever you can, ratings, review, everything helps. And get involved. Got a great community over at Facebook at the Nastagram RPG Lounge, or just pop over onto the website, nastagrampod.com, links to all our socials, and bonus content and more coming soon. Our intro music, as always, is by a Wilhelm Scream. Scores this arc are from both Adrian von Ziegler and Antti Marttikainen. We'll be back with another episode next week. Why don't you bring a friend?
That's nasty.
Yeah. Ha! Ha ha ha. Yeah.
Fucking brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Woo. Am I back? No, not really.
Not really.
That's got to be the circuitry in the gate has to be a problem because when he
But why is
screams, it kicks on.
But why is
Yeah.
it for two different
now-
TVXs, but it wasn't for...
It doesn't make any
Now
sense.
it's not.
Or it's the fucking. What happens if you turn the gate all the way off?
Working super good in the neighborhood.
Jesus H. Christ.